Everyone, it's Jason from Lords of War on Thursday, April 14th. Today, due to popular demand, I've got a video on pigment powders. So, as you can see, I've got my Horus Heresy Mark III Iron Warrior that I painted. If you can't tell, the excitement is starting to brew here a little bit at the store. If you don't know, it looks like there will be some sort of Horus Heresy kind of re-release coming this summer, as per the previews that Games Workshop has put out. And you know, being historical Warhammer, you know, you gotta change it up a little bit. And so we've gone with this kind of I don't know what you call this, light sienna, kind of orangey base, Marsy base. Looks quite nice. I'm gonna get a closer shot here, hopefully. Look at that focus. Yeah, so it's pretty simple. It's a pigment powder. It dusts on the boots nicely. Some tough. So anyway, yeah, I've been getting a bunch of questions on how, you know, people have been coming in the shop and asking, how do you do this? And the answer is it's not very difficult. I will warn you though, powders are messy. They make a huge mess. Just keep that in mind. If you transport your models a lot, I don't know, maybe get them magnetized or something so they're standing upright. If you put them in your foam case, you're gonna just shed powder everywhere. But otherwise, once it's kind of stuck down, it's pretty good. I mean, you see even there, you get a little bit of flaking off here and there. I have tried to brush some off occasionally. You can try and get most of it off, but there's always still some remaining, so just keep in mind. And don't apply the powder in your finest of clothes. If you get pigment powder on you, well, you can't use water to clean it off because that turns the pigment into paint. So anyway, so to get started, I have another, you know, this is just another little sample base I did, but I'm gonna do this model here. This is more involved that I kind of was painting earlier on for Rise of Champions thing before the Eldar came out. But for the purpose of this demo, the base is just fine. So what you need to start is, in this case, any base, I put some brown texture on. It doesn't really matter which one you do. I find some of the like AK textures or Vallejo textures, any of those, or golden, any of those texture jars is fine. Or a Growlin Earth, or not a Growlin Earth, a Growlin Badlands, or Sterling Mud. I'll put that on, let it dry. Some kind of gray or brown is good to start. The other two things you'll need is some powders and this stuff, pigment fixer. Pigment fixer is basically just a liquid that helps kind of glue everything down. I've got a mix of powder here. I've got kind of some rusty orangey stuff. I think I've got a couple of powders I mixed. I had some burnt umber, which is like a dark brown, and this was some sort of light sienna color, but there's a bunch of shades, and I'll have a link there to the different AK powders you can buy. Vallejo makes some as well. Yeah, so anything is good. You can mix colors, use single colors. It all kind of blends together because it is like literally a paint pigment. So, so first thing we'll do is open our fixer up. Really simple. Use some synthetic brushes because they can, you know, this stuff is they can. If you wreck one of these, is not a big deal. So you go get a bit of that, and you can see I didn't, you know, I'm not going crazy. Just take a bit. It goes pretty far, and then you just brush it everywhere you're gonna put pigment. You don't have to like rush. This is a bigger base. On a small base, this little bit on the brush is enough, but it's a bigger base. It is a bit stinky too, so maybe if you're sensitive to that, wear some kind of mask or something. Some sort of deadly concoction, I'm sure. Flammable. Yeah, I can see it on the jar. It's definitely flammable. So apply this stuff on. Like I said, everywhere we're gonna try, and you can put it on a bit of the model's leg if you like, if you want it to creep up there. And there you go. And close that. And then I've got just kind of anything will do. This is just like a soft wide synthetic brush. This is perfect. like I said, lots of options there. And we're just literally gonna try and load some on the brush and just start applying it pretty liberally. Just like, you could probably even sprinkle it on a big base like this. I probably could embed in the jar a little bit, but then you just waste a lot. You have to like bend the piece. I like using a piece of paper underneath because it will catch a lot of it, and then you can fold the paper and put it back in the jar and reuse it, reapply, so you don't waste it all. It actually goes pretty far. Like, I borrowed some of this from Chris or whatever, or one of the other guys, and like I use like, I don't know, I did like 25, 30 models with like, I don't know, a quarter of a jar, not even. So because you're gonna like shake all the excess off and then reapply it, put it back in the jar, and it goes pretty far. Now the fixer is interesting because you can apply it, you can reapply it too. It helps like kind of re-stick. So I would do this one layer, apply it on, shake off the extra. The darker, where the powder is a little darker here, that's actually where the pigment, the fixer was just on a bit, like I laid it on a little bit, it was like more concentrated. When it all dries, it'll dry that uniform kind of like light color, the natural pigment color, I guess, when it's just the wet areas, the more wet areas look a little darker. So there you go. So we got a nice dusty base. Maybe take a second to kind of gently brush. Like, really don't push too much force, just kind of blow, or I don't know if I'd blow this stuff. Like, I think I like just dragging the brush across and letting it catch. Take some of the extra off. Of course, you can always tap the model, but I find this works pretty well. Just gently brush. You can also just like leave it at this stage for like, I don't know, I'd probably leave it for an hour. Make sure it's like really nice and dry, and then brush off some more. And then if you find it's still flaking a bit much, you could do another, like, you could use a little maybe pipette or something and drip some more fixer in some spots and apply some more pigment or whatever, or just let it dry and see how it looks. But it does work pretty well. There's a lot actually in the middle here. Tap the model maybe. Of course, if your model is painted in like off-white or white, it'll get messy. Yeah, see, I don't want to pull too much off because it'll maybe smear it or take too much powder off. So looks pretty good already, actually. Easy to use. There you go. So yeah, get that to focus. So I hope that was helpful. Easy peasy. Quick note. I'll post it in the description as well. We are closed tomorrow. Tomorrow's Good Friday. So I hope, Chris and I hope everyone, and Matt, I hope everyone has a really nice and relaxing weekend. Hopefully get some nice hobby time out, and also make sure you think about and sign up for our Soul Break event, which is at the end of the month. Spots are getting filled, signups are happening, and you can do a Stormcast model too. I did earlier. And Soul Break is that narrative 40K weekend we're running Friday, Saturday, Sunday at the end of April, and it's gonna have Aeronautica, Kill Team, doubles games if you like, Mega Battle. It's all happening. And yeah, you can play. The beauty of it is you can play a single day, multiple days. You can mix and match however you want. So get in on that before it's too late. And then a couple weeks after that, we'll have our Sword and Brush Mini. So basically meaning like a little Sword and Brush. So that's our paint exhibition. If you want to come in and have a look or participate, tickets are available. They're $10, and it is basically a fundraiser for the larger event. So after a couple of years of not being able to run it, we'll have our full Sword and Brush kind of mini convention, which will include full wargaming events and big miniature show, vendors, all that stuff. So yeah, any proceeds we can draw from our little miniature event here in our basement coming up, we'll go towards that. So yeah, definitely. I've already seen, I've talked to some people. I've had some people come in, bring their models, and ask me for advice and things like that, which is awesome. So I think it'll be quite good, and it's a good way to meet other artists and ask them those technical questions too. So, so with all that said, exciting times ahead, and we'll catch you on the other side of the weekend. Thanks. Bye.